Okay, we are reading lesson 7, career and business. Okay, career and business. You are meant to have an amazing life. That includes every aspect of your life, from your relationship to your health to your finances, and it also includes your work. Your work is meant to be fulfilling and exciting to you, and you are meant to accomplish all things you would love to accomplish throughout your professional life. If you have a full-time job, you probably spend around 250 days of the year at work. 250 days is over two-thirds of the year. So if you're not doing what sets your heart on fire and fills you with passion and excitement, you are wasting a lot of precious days of your life. Too many of us have separated the idea of excitement and passion from our work, and we don't love what we do every day. But life doesn't have to be like that. The fact that there are many, the fact that there are people who are living their dream for their work tells you that it's possible for you too. Okay. Okay, what is your dream job? You can imagine a job you enjoy so much that it doesn't even feel like work, or that you would do it whether you were paid or not. There's no better feeling in the world than to have found your dream job and be living it. To work for the sheer joy of it, to wake up and be really excited on Monday, to love what you do so much that the idea of a long vacation seems boring, that's living. Uh, you should love your job, whatever it is, and be excited about going to work. And you shouldn't settle for anything less. If you don't feel that way about your current job, or if it's not your dream job, the way to receive your dream, the way to receive your dream job is through the law of attraction. If you want to attract your dream job, it is important to remember how the law of attraction works. You know what to attract. You know that to attract something, you must ask for what you want, believe that it is yours, and then feel the way you expect to feel when you receive it. And it's as true for your career as it is for anything. So don't listen to anyone who tries to tell you that you don't have what it takes to secure your dream job. As I've said before, no matter who you are or where you come from, you can have, do, or be anything you choose. A patrolman with the sheriff's office had a dream to be promoted to sergeant and become a supervisor. He applied whenever a position became available, but he was always overlooked for other candidates who had less experience and credentials. He achieved good results on the written test, but it was the in-person interview that brought him undone. He was convinced it was because someone on the interview panel didn't like him. Each time he went into the process expecting to lose out to someone less capable, and each time he was right. Then his wife introduced him to the law of attraction, and he came to see where he was going wrong. The next time there was a vacancy, he applied, but this time he believed he could be chosen. He visualized himself working as a supervisor. and even started referring to himself privately as Sergeant. He expressed gratitude for his job, and everyone he worked with, he met with the other applicants and wished them all well, encouraging them and letting them know that they would all be worthy of the promotion. When he walked into the interview, he was delighted to find that the person who apparently didn't like him was not there. He was more relaxed then. He was more relaxed than ever before. And he impressed the panel with his confidence and humility in his leadership potential. After the interview, he left smiling and went home to relax and release all doubts and negativity. Later that day, he received a phone call from the sheriff offering promotion to the rank of sergeant, just as he had always wanted. If you want your dream, manifesting your dream job. If you want your dream job, then think about everything you want the job to be. Think about the things that are important to you, such as the type of work you want to do, how you want to feel in your job, the type of company, the type of company you want to work for, the kind of people you want to work with, the hours you want to work, where you want your job to be, and the salary you want to receive. Get very clear about what you want in your job by thinking it through thoroughly and writing all the details down. Try using all of your senses to visualize and imagine every aspect of the job or career you want until you really feel you are living it. With practice, you'll find it easy to imagine having your dream job, seeing yourself arriving at work and walking through the door. It's easy to imagine sitting at your desk or in your workspace, turning on your computer and commencing work. It's easy to imagine looking at your paycheck and seeing a particular figure that you asked for. When you imagine having that dream job now, you feel as though you have it now. And that's the cue for manifestation. Just like anything else you want to bring into your life, just like anything else you want to bring into your life, how you will receive the job or career opportunity of your dreams is not something you should be concerned about. The universe will move all people, circumstances, and events to manifest your desire in an orchestration that would be impossible for you to arrange. So forget about how you will receive what you've asked for, and instead feel as if you already have it. To speed up the manifestation, you might like to try acting as if you've already received the job of your dreams. Get creative. There are any number of things you can do with your imagination. For instance, you could create a new letterhead for yourself or a business card with the details of your dream job, the company name, your position, and where your office is located. I know of someone who created an offer letter from the company detailing their dream position, the type of work involved, and the salary. They also went to the trouble of writing several congratulatory emails for them to receive for landing such a great job. Then, after they had made it through several rounds of interviews and actually receiving a job offer, the only detail that was inaccurate was the salary. It turned out to be quite a bit more. Another thing you could do is plan your commute to work and then set your alarm and adjust your schedule around your new job as though you already had it. That's what a recent college graduate did after she had applied for countless jobs without success. She had come to realize that she wasn't thinking or acting as if she already had a job. Instead, her thoughts and actions were saying that she was still looking for a job. And so, by the law of attraction, she would always be looking for a job. That's when she decided to live as though she was already employed. She started by getting up early rather than sleeping in. She set herself a business hour schedule that she strictly adhered to. She planned out her outfit to wear to work each day, and she established a savings account ready for her paycheck. She improved her typing skills and computer literacy to be job ready, and she began hanging out with friends at the end of their work day and enjoyed listening to them talk about work. She also started to use a journal, and she wrote all about her imaginary job. She would write about how grateful she was for her colleagues and her boss, and how much she loved working for the company. She soon came to really believe and feel like she was a part of the workforce. Within a couple of weeks of her starting to pretend that she had a job, a friend recommended her for an open position that she was perfectly suited to. She applied, and for the first time, she felt convinced that she would land the job. And she was right. The most amazing thing is that when she reflected back on her journal, she realized that she had been describing this exact same job and workplace. She had literally imagined herself into the job of her dreams. If you ever find yourself looking for a job, then follow this woman's example and start doing whatever you will do when you are living the job of your dreams. Appreciation for your current job. Even if you don't know yet what your dream job is, there's something you can do right now, and that will accelerate your dream job materializing. Give your best to whatever you're currently doing, even if you know you ultimately want a different job than the one you have. Give yourself full attention to your current job and give your best to it. By doing this, you will actually become bigger than your current job. And in time, doors will open to lead you to the perfect fit of your dream job. But you should also know that if you complain about your current job and continue to focus on all the negative things, you will never bring that dream job to you. You must look for the things to be grateful for in your current job. Each thing you find to be grateful for is helping to bring that job, that better job to you. At the same time, if you're grateful for the job that you have, even if it's not your dream job, things will begin to change so that you enjoy your job more. You will find all kinds of opportunities, promotions, more money, brilliant ideas and inspirations, and far greater appreciation for your work. And you will find that the more gratitude you have for your job, the more you will have to be grateful for. That's because when you are grateful for your job, you automatically give more to your work. And when you give more to your work, you increase the money and success that it is returned to you. If you are not grateful for your job, you automatically give less. Then you give less. When you give less, you decrease what comes back to you. Your job stagnates, and you could even end up losing your job. As ancient spiritual texts warn us, for those who do not have gratitude, even that, even what they have, will be taken from them. So, as ancient spiritual text warns us, for those who do not have gratitude, even what they have will be taken away from them. So think about all the things you could be grateful for in your work. To begin with, think about the fact that you actually have a job. Think about people who are unemployed and who would give everything to have a job. Think about the people you work with and the friendships you have with them. Think about the valuable colleagues who make your job easier. Think about the favorite aspects of your job that you have doing, that you love doing, and think about how good it feels when you receive your paycheck. Sadly, most people don't even feel good when they are paid because they're so worried about how to make the money last. They miss an incredible opportunity to give gratitude for their paycheck so that it multiplies. So that it multiplies. Say they miss an incredible opportunity to give gratitude for their paycheck so that it multiplies. Whenever any money comes into your hands, no matter how little it is, be grateful. Remember whatever you're grateful for multiplies. Working for the joy of it. If you have held thoughts in the past that the only way money can come to you is through your job, then let that go immediately. Can you appreciate that as you continue to think that it must be your experience? Such thoughts do not serve you. In truth, money can come to you in unlimited ways. It's in no way limited by your job or your salary. The law of attraction is what moves all the money in the world. And whoever uses the law currently is a magnet for money. Once you appreciate this truth, then you will be free to look for work that you love to do rather than taking a job just for the money. If you're doing a job because you believe it's the only way you can earn money and you don't love that job, you'll never bring real wealth or the job you love. Remember, you can only attract what you want when you feel good. So if you don't feel good at work, you can never attract the wealth you desire, either through the salary or through other means. You are meant to work for the joy of it. You're meant to work because it thrills and excites you. You're meant to work because you love it. And when you love what you do, the money will follow. Sadly, many people are living a life that has been put upon them by well-meaning parents, teachers, society, or even by a friend or partner. They accepted a job they don't enjoy because they were convinced it was all they deserved, or because it was a safe or respectable choice, or it would look good on their resume. Perhaps they started out loving their job, but in time the work has become a grind. They're let, they've let job security dictate their choices in life. At the end of the day, doing a job you think you do instead of doing what you love is leading a false life. As billionaires, investor Warren Buffett once said, that's a little like saving up sex for your old age. If you find yourself in this situation, it almost certainly means your current job is not your dream job. You need to dig deep and ask yourself whether somewhere along the way you put your dreams aside. So ask yourself, what would you do if you could do anything? What would you do if you could do anything? What would you do if money wasn't a consideration at all? And what would you do if success was guaranteed? When you know the answer to these questions, you will have rediscovered your dreams. So shut out what everyone else thinks. Have the courage to follow your own dreams, and you will be immensely happy. Even if you think you can't move because of the need for security and your obligations, it's never too late. There are always unlimited ways to follow your dreams, and it is much easier than you think. It's possible that you will experience doubts creeping in as you think about the possible consequences of leaving a secure job. Excuse me. Of leaving a secure job in order to follow your dream. If you ever find yourself in doubt, you can ask the universe for evidence that you are making the right decision. Remember, you can ask for anything. Something better is coming. So often when things change in our lives, we have such a resistance to the change. This is because we're fearful that big changes will mean things get worse. But it's important to remember that when something big changes in our lives, it means something better is coming. There cannot be a vacuum in the universe. And so as something moves out, something must come in and replace it. When change comes, relax, have total faith, and know that the change is all good. Something more magnificent is coming to you. I was working as a television producer at a network, and I used to dream of starting my own television production company. But I would never have done it because I had a family to support. My job paid well, and we needed the money to eat and keep a roof over our heads. I clung to the security of my job with all my might, despite many people urging me to start my own company. Then I got fired. I was in shock. How would we eat? How could we pay for our daughter's education? How could we pay the mortgage on our house? One option I had was to get a job at a different television network, but I couldn't hear the thought of going back to what I had been doing. I realized that since I had been fired, I had nothing to lose. And so, on a plastic table and chairs in the back room of our little humble house, I started working on ideas for my television shows. I developed an idea and created a pitch for a show, even though I had no idea how to create a pitch. But I believed in the idea. And so, with heart pounding and legs trembling, I presented the idea to executives at one of the networks. The show was commissioned on the spot, and when it aired, it was a huge success and became. And when it aired, it was a huge success and became a long-running series. Through being fired, I was given the perfect circumstance to start my own company and live my dream. And I remain so grateful to this day for that television network firing me. Without them, I wouldn't have had the courage to leave my job. And I would have missed living the most exciting and fulfilling journey of my life, becoming your own boss. For many people, pursuing their dreams in their professional life may well lead them to want to start their own company, just as it did for me. Simply realizing that no one else is going to make your dreams come true is a big step. Your boss, colleagues, clients, or customers, and even your partner, family, and children cannot live your life for you. You are responsible for creating a life that makes you happy and fulfilled. No one else can do that for you. Until now, you might have thought it impossible for you to run your own company, but you must try to let go of the opinions, beliefs, and conclusions you have about yourself, because they're the very things that have prevented you from achieving your dream. Don't compare yourself with anyone else, because you have potential inside you that no one else on the planet has. Let go of all the limiting thoughts of what you think is possible for you and open your mind to all possibility. A senior executive at a multinational firm was redeployed to head office in a new role and with conditions that he felt were unacceptable. And so after 25 years of loyal service, he made the big decision to look elsewhere. His first instinct was to branch out on his own, as he had always dreamed of being an entrepreneur. He made some early exploratory steps, looking for office space and technical resources, and all the while visualizing his new enterprise in every detail. However, the risk of giving up job security was pretty daunting for someone who had spent so long as a company man. At around that time, an international competitor to his employer appeared on the scene as they were making plans to launch their brand in his territory. He met with them and was offered the opportunity to head up the new division. He hadn't given up on his dream of running his own company, but this was an offer too good to refuse. He gave notice at his old job and prepared for this fresh start. That's when he received a big surprise. Due to economic uncertainty and stock market fluctuations, the company suddenly decided against launching their new division. However, they still wanted to establish a presence in the territory. So they revised their offer. They would provide financial support for him to establish his own company, and they would become his major client. He got to become the entrepreneur that he always wanted to be, but with the financial security he desired. The secret principles of success. If you have your own company or dream of starting one, there are specific principles of the secret that you simply must apply to your company if you hope to succeed and to avoid the pitfalls that many new companies suffer. The first of these is in the area of competition. Most people, when they think of the world of business, they think of a dog-eat-dog battle to survive. But when you think of business in this way, it's coming from a lack of mentality. As you are assuming that there's a limited supply, you are thinking that there's not enough for everybody. So you have to compete and fight to get things someone else had to lose so that you can win. But when you compete, you never win, even if you think you've won. By the law of attraction, as you compete, you will attract many people and circumstances to compete against you in every single aspect of your life. But in the end, you will lose. We are all one. And so when you compete against you. You have to get competition out of your mind and become a creative mind. Focus only on your dreams, your vision, and take all competition out of the equation. The second secret principle for business is gratitude. If you are a company owner, your company's value will increase or decrease according to your gratitude. The most grateful you are for your company, your customers, and your employees, the more the company will grow and increase. It is when company owners stop being grateful and replace gratitude with worry that their company spirals downward. The third secret principle to apply to your company is to develop and maintain a wealth mindset. If you have a company but it's not doing as well as you want, then it's most likely due to your mindset. The thoughts you are thinking and the way you are feeling. The biggest thing that causes companies to fall down is having bad feelings about the lack of success. Even if the company has been going well, if you react with bad feelings when there's a slight dip, you will create a bigger downturn in your company. All the inspiration and ideas that will make your company skyrocket to levels you can scarcely imagine are available to you through the infinite creative power of the universe. Imagine success and do whatever you can to lift your spirits and feel good. When you lift your feelings, you will lift your business. In every part of your life, everybody, every day, love everything you see, love everything around you, and love the success of other companies as though it were your success. If you feel really good about success, no matter whose success it is, you attract success to you. The fourth and final secret principle for business is that you should never take money from anyone without giving the equivalent in value to the money you are receiving. This is known as the rule of fair exchange. And when you incorporate this rule as a business practice, you are truly living the law of attraction. Failure to abide by this rule is one of the main causes of a lack of success in business. So be sure that you always give fair exchange in all of your business transactions to your suppliers as well as your clients and customers. If you give less value than the value you receive, then you are taking from someone, and you simply can't take from anyone in life, or you will be taken from. Instead, you must endeavor to give equal value for what you're receiving. The only way you can be sure of giving equal value is to give more value than the money you're receiving. If you give more value than the money you're receiving, your company will take off. Whether you decide to go into business for yourself or remain a salary earner and pursue the job of your dreams, this lesson holds true. Never take from anyone, either in profits or in salary, without giving more in use value than you were given. In so many people's lives, this is the reason for lack of money, unsuccessful job experience, and failed companies. So always give more value than the money you are receiving in your job, in your company, and in every part of your life. Lesson 8, sharing and giving. Prosperity is your birthright, and you hold the key to more abundance than you can possibly imagine. You deserve every good thing you want, and the universe will give you every good thing you want. But you have to summon it into your life. Now you know the secret. And perhaps for the first time in your life, you will be able to buy things you've always wanted to buy, travel to places you've always wanted to go, and do things you've always wanted to do. Along with that, you have an incredible opportunity to be able to share your success with family and friends so that their lives can improve too. You can be, do, or have anything you want, but much of what you want to be, do, or have comes from the desire to share it with those closest to you. If you think about it, without someone to share it with, you would have very little desire to be, do, or have anything. There would be no motivation to propel you to get up in the morning, to work, to learn, to earn more money, to build a company, or create a better life. It's your contact and experiences with other people that give your life purpose and the ambition to succeed. Not only that, but the joy of sharing with those close to you feels so good that it helps to power even more success. My story. In my own life, I was inspired to create the secret in order to share this knowledge with the world, as well as my friends and family. I was born into a quite humble beginnings. My parents worked hard all their lives, but they never had much money. When my father died, my mother was not only left without the love of her life, she was also left with little money, and she had no income. My father died because the success, my father died before the success of the secret. So he never got to see that dream materialize. But my mother did. She had spent her whole life barely making ends meet. And then after the secret, all of that changed. I remember one particular day when my mother called me in tears. She had gone into a store and purchased several items of clothing for herself. She was in tears because for the first time in her life, she had purchased clothes without having to ask how much they cost. If you have been lucky enough to have a parent who has dedicated their life to your growth and well-being, then you will understand how I felt that day. Nothing I could ever give to my mother would equal what she had given to me in my life. Giving back. When you've mastered the secret and you have attracted a life of abundance, you can't stop yourself from giving back and making a difference in the lives of others. The compassion you feel for people is so great that no matter what you do, no matter how much you give, you just want to do more. When you give back in whatever way you can, no matter how big or small, the happiness you feel in knowing you have helped another human being will never leave you. The joy and happiness you feel is so great that it can make the joy and happiness you feel is so great that it can make you question the entire purpose of your life. In fact, the purpose of your life is joy. And so, what do you think is the greatest joy in life? Giving. If a person had told me some years ago that the greatest joy in life is giving, I would not have believed them. I would have said, That's fine for you to say, but I'm struggling to survive and barely making ends meet. So I have nothing to give. At that point in my life, I had reached an all-time low with money. I had several credit cards that were maxed out. My apartment was mortgaged to the hilt, and my company was in debt for millions of dollars. But having recently discovered the law of attraction, I realized that I had to feel good about money to bring it to me. That wasn't so easy because every single day I was confronted by the mounting debt with staff wages overdue and outstanding invoices to be paid. So I took drastic action. I talked to the nearest ATM and no, I walked. I walked to the nearest ATM and withdrew several $100s from my only credit card account. That wasn't already overdrawn. I needed that money so badly to pay bills and buy food. But I took the money in my hand, walked down a busy street, and I gave the money away to people on the street. It was the first time in my life I had felt love for money. But it wasn't the money itself that caused me to feel love. It was giving the money to people that made me feel love for money. Afterward, I had tears of joy about how good it felt to give money. On the very next business day, I received an unexpected payment of $25,000 to buy out my shares in a friend's company, an investment that I had forgotten all about. That money was heaven sent. It allowed me to keep my company afloat and to complete the documentary film of The Secret that we were working on at the time. I did set out to give money away to bring desperately needed money to me. I gave it away so I would feel good about money. I wanted to change a lifetime of feeling bad about money. If I had given away that money in order to get money, it would never have worked because it would have meant I was motivated by feeling a lack of money. So if I had given away that money in order to get money, it would never have worked because it would have meant I was motivated by feeling a lack of money, which is negative, instead of being motivated by love. But if you give money away and you feel love when you give it, most surely it will return to you. Giving for the joy of it. You must feel good when you give away money in order for money to return to you. The reason for this is that when you are generous with money and feel good about sharing it, you are emitting and feel good about sharing it, you are emitting a frequency that says, I have plenty. Okay, let's do this one over. The reason for this is that when you are generous with money and feel good about sharing it, you are emitting a frequency that says, I have plenty. That frequency is matched by the law of attraction, and you will always have plenty of money. However, your giving should be a giving without expectation of return, a giving for the sheer joy of it. People far too often misunderstand this important point about giving. They only give with an expectation of return. That's giving with an ulterior motive. It's not giving for the sheer joy of it. and it is certainly not given with love. On the other hand, giving from a heart that is overflowing with love feels so much better. In fact, it is one of the most joyous things you can do. When you give from a full heart, you emit a signal of plenty. You emit a signal of plenty of money, and the law of attraction will grab hold of that signal and flood even more into your life. However, you cannot trick the law of attraction. Your giving must be sincere and you must feel it in your heart. If your financial situation does not allow you to feel love sincerely in your heart as you give money, then you should probably reconsider giving money. Instead, you can give in many other ways, which are equally powerful. Give love and appreciation to people. Give gratitude for what you have. Give a helping hand. Give in a kind gesture. Give a smile. And give the best of yourself to everyone you meet. As you take action through sincere giving, the law of attraction will respond, and you will be given to in every area of your life through people, circumstances, and events. A married couple with 4 children had found the house of their dreams for sale, but unfortunately, it was well outside of their budget. Nevertheless, the husband visualized his family living in this house with so much feeling and joy that he came to believe it would be theirs. A couple of weeks later, the husband was getting lunch at a cafe not far from the location of his dream home. An older lady in front of him was holding up the queue as she was unable to pay because she had left her purse in her car. She excused herself and went out to retrieve her money. The man ordered lunch to go and then handed out his own car and headed out to his own car. In the parking lot, he noticed the lady standing by her car looking a little distressed. He approached her to see what was wrong. It turned out she had locked her keys along with her purse inside the car. He asked her if she had a spare key, and she said yes, but it was at home. He offered to drive her there and back, and she accepted gratefully. As he approached her driveway, he realized that her house was the exact dream home that he and his wife had wanted to buy. She went inside to retrieve her spare key, and he spent those few moments visualizing, living there just as he had done for the previous 2 weeks. When the older lady returned, he told her that he loved her house and that he would buy it if only he could afford it. She looked at him thoughtfully and then asked how much he could afford. And he was a little embarrassed, but he named his figure. She considered that in quiet contemplation and then blew his mind when she said, "Okay, you can have it." They worked out the terms on the spot, and he received his dream home at a bargain price, and all as a direct consequence of giving a helping hand without any expectation of return. There are so many opportunities for you to give and thereby open the door to receiving. Give kind words, give a smile, give appreciation and love. In fact, your love, your joy, your positivity, your excitement, your gratitude, and your passion are the true and everlasting gifts in life. All the riches in the world cannot even come close to the most priceless gift in all of creation, the love inside you. And so, as you give with love, the law of attraction must return to you the sheer joy and untold happiness of everything you want and love. A summary of the secret. A summary of the secret to money. Every single thing you do should be for the sheer joy of it, whether that's in regard to your career or business or any other aspect of your life. The purpose of your life is joy, and nothing should come ahead of that, including money. Sadly, far too many people place money ahead of their joy on all the things they love to do. They make earning money the purpose of their life. They make money their God. Don't get me wrong, money and all the material things you buy with it are wonderful. And experiencing them is one of the greatest pleasures of living on earth. However, through the conditioning of society, we can mislead into thinking that okay. However, through the conditioning of society, we can be misled into thinking that the acquisition and the accruement of material things is the purpose of our life. If material things were the purpose of our life, they would provide true happiness, fulfillment, and satisfaction. And we never need to buy another thing. The happiness we feel when we get those things wouldn't be fleeting, but would be everlasting. If acquiring material things were our purpose in life, we would be able to take them with us when we leave. You would walk outside to get the paper in the morning and see that old man Joe's house across the street had disappeared because he had taken it with him. We can't take material things with us because they are not who we are. While they are part of the joy of living on earth, they are not the purpose of our life. Certainly, we all need food, shelter, and clothing, as well as things that we enjoy having because they enrich our life. But the pursuit of material things for their sake alone robs us of the freedom to live a truly fulfilling life. Don't let the tail wag the dog by making financial security and the pursuit of material things the purpose of your life. Instead, make happiness the purpose of your life. The truth is, every single human being on the planet just wants to be happy. Anything that anyone desires is because they think their desire will make them happy. Whether it is health, money, a loving relationship, material things, accomplishments, a job, or anything at all, the desire for happiness is the bottom line of all of them. Ironically, when you are happy, then you attract all people, circumstances, and events that bring more happiness to you. The happy things are the icing on the cake, but the cake is happiness. If you are still unsure on how to go about choosing happiness, then simply do the things that you love and that bring you joy. If you don't know what brings you joy, ask the question, what is my joy? And as you find it and commit yourself to it, to joy, the law of attraction will pour an avalanche of joyful things, people, circumstances, events, and opportunities into your life. all because you are radiating joy. The irony is that when you choose joy and happiness over financial security, you will have it all: material riches and a rich, happy, and joyful life. May the joy be with you, Rhonda Bryan. Okay, this ends our book.
Thank you so much for reading book for us.
Of course, anytime. You know I'm happy to read it.